What's going on? Play Game here, back with another Epic 7 video, and today we got the Yulha preview. So she was actually leaked a couple of days ago, and I think what Smile gets said is, hey, you know what? Just go ahead and show the preview. So here we go. We got the official preview coming out. I know this yandere is waifu for a lot of players out there. She is an Earth Knight. She's looking like a Hwayoung counter. But there's a big but, right? The thing about her, right away, she's a knight. So you're gonna have to build her omega tanky, right? For her to survive a Hwayoung kick to the face. That's kind of the thing for any unit. And as long as Hwayoung exists, right? It's going to depend on her baiting Hwayoung. She is grass, so I think GVG regular arena is gonna be fine, right? But if you're gonna bring her into RTA, they can just choose to kick someone else, right? They can choose to kick someone other than her. But I think for GVG, she's gonna be great. So let's take a look at her stats here. So she is an Earth Knight, Sagittarius. So just a little bit of background info. Sagittarius, actually, this star line, whatever you want to call it, actually has some of the highest base bulk in the game, which is great for her because she is going to get kicked in the face by Hwayoung. And you know Hwayoungs can do insane amounts of damage, right? The attack buff, vigor from that Conquer Lilius can do like 30 something K HP. So that's why it's a bit iffy, right? So 6.8K health, 104 speed, so not that fast. You got 694 defense, like I mentioned, pretty high bulk. She gives herself triple S, 18% health imprint, and then she gives the two back people 12, almost 13% attack. So she is a 5-star Earth Elemental. So like I mentioned, she's going to be a great bait for Hwayoung. I think in GVG and regular arena, it's going to be great because you can just bait them out, right? You can just get the computer to go on the Yulha. But let's take a look at her skill number 2 here. It's called Malicious Smile. So when attacked by a single attack, reflects 30% of the damage suffered to the attacker. So when Hwayoung kicks you, she's gonna get 30% of that damage reflected back to her. Reflected damage cannot be higher than the caster's max health. After being attacked, when health is 30% or less, dispels all debuffs from the caster and activates Murderous Intent. So when she's at 30% or less, she gets a huge barrier, right? That huge barrier is also going to give her some more survivability, and then she's gonna full cleanse herself, right? So Murderous Intent here can only be activated once every 5 turns, which to me doesn't really make sense because Hwa has a 2-turn cooldown, right? When you soul burn. So by the time that this Murderous Intent comes back, Hwayoung already cycled, right? But let's keep reading. Okay, so Murderous Intent grants a barrier to the caster for 3 turns and increases combat readiness by 20%. Okay, so she's getting a huge barrier. She's getting a 20% CR push. Of course, you're gonna build her with as much HP as possible because, hey, guess what? Her barrier increases proportional to her max health. So you make her very, very tanky. She is going to get up to 20% CR push, so it's going to give her the ability to actually use her skills, right? So let's see if they kind of show us what that looks like in game, because it's all going to be about her damage, right? So you'll see here, I think she's got unbuffable and restrict. Does that mean that a para hit her? So okay, so if you take a look at that, it was only 17K, right? So this Hwayoung, I don't think she had attack buff, right? Because with an attack, oh, she did have attack buff. That's kind of sus, right? Because Hwayoungs with attack buff don't do 17K. So one, you have elemental advantage, right? You got Hwayoung with attack buff. To me, this says that this Hwayoung might not be built that great, right? Because even in our debut videos, we were doing minimum 20K without attack buff, right? And then you add on like attack buff, you add on vigor, and we were doing like 30K almost. So just imagine on top of that, you're getting elemental advantage because she is a grass unit. So are you going to be able to build her 30k HP? I mean, how many people actually have the gear to do that, right? But you'll see here, she doesn't go down, right? Because of the reflect. So maybe that's why, right? The reflect damage. She gets a huge barrier. Barrier increases proportional to her health. She got a CR push. And then maybe you go with her skill number 3, right? So Symphony of Agony, 6-turn cooldown. You get the -1 turn. Attacks the enemy by unraveling Sphere of Sadism. And when the enemy is defeated, recovers the caster's health. So if you get a kill with her S3, she's going to get some HP back. When the target is not an elite or boss monster, damage sharing effects are ignored. So she ignores damage share. So she's ignoring Arius, right? Penetrates the target's defense, but cannot trigger a critical hit. Damage dealt increases proportional to the caster's lost health. So this is another unit that deals damage based on the amount of health they've lost. Another unit that is a knight that does something very similar is Crow, right? You build him Omega tanky. The more HP he loses, the better his horse is. The more damage he does with his horse, with his S3. Amount recovered increased proportional to the caster's max health. So she penetrates defense, I'm assuming by 100%, right? She can't crit, but that's fine because Crow does the same thing. He can't crit on his S3 and he does Omega damage, right? So you're probably gonna want to max Mola the S3, right? I don't think you necessarily need to max Mola the S2, right, for the CR push. I guess it really depends on the speed that you're running her. So here we go. She's 24k. She's at 6k HP right now after that Hwayoung kick. So the Hwayoung had attack buff and she kicked the Yulha there for about 17k, almost 18k, right? She survived with 6k HP. And so let's see what kind of damage she's able to do with the S3. So more than likely one shot. Is it a one shot? 18k damage. That's pretty respectable, right? On an S3, no attack buff, no nothing else. And she healed up for, let's see if they show us how much. She was at 6k, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, she healed up to about, what is that, 15k? So she healed for 9k HP. That's pretty good, right? But you have to remember she's pretty much useless after this. So the cooldowns are gonna be one of those things. So you do have 2 units left, and I'm assuming this Taiyu was put there to take out the Hwa and the Para, right? Skill number 1, Cruel Touch, attacks the enemy with an 85% chance to inflict redirected provoke for 1 turn. Damage dealt increases proportional to her max health. So this one, it's nice because it's a redirected provoke. So even if, let's say, Yulha goes down, right? She's your tank. It's still gonna go on. It could still go on the next highest HP unit, so it doesn't necessarily get removed if she does go down, right? I believe that's the way it works. So the redirected provoke, I think, is kind of nice here. I think that Taiyu dealt with that Hwayoung there, and then you just finish that off, right? She's getting her artifact. It is called Sphere of Sadism. It's night exclusive. And this one, I'm not too sure how to feel about this one. It's, to me, it feels a little odd. I don't think her artifact is a must-have. But at the start of the battle, when this is fully maxed out, it grants a barrier to the caster for 2 turns. When attacking with a single attack, if the caster is granted a barrier, damage dealt increases by 20%. So I'm assuming you get kicked in the face, 30%, you proc your barrier, and then you S3 with this artifact, you're gonna do 20% more damage, right? Because you're getting a barrier, right? You're getting a barrier, so you're getting more survivability. We'll see. We got to wait and see. You do have to fully max this out to get that 20%, right? So is this worth? I don't know. I don't personally think so, but hey, we are going to be pulling for her. She definitely looks pretty cool. You know, I think we needed a Hwayoung bait because in GVG, she can still one-shot kick my Crow, which is insane. it's just insane. So it's very difficult to even bring Crow against her because she just kicks everything, right? She kicks everything in the face. So I'm interested to see on June 16th, so that's this week, how she does. So we'll definitely try to build her. We're gonna try to get as close as we can to 30k HP. I don't know how viable that build is going to be, right? But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, but that's gonna be it for me. Like always, if you haven't enjoyed the video, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hey, think about subscribing. It really helps the channel grow and reach more people like you who like content like this. Like always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.